Ah, yeah, the boomer van. She runs a lot quieter now that I cleaned the crankcase out with that tranny fluid. Being a typical boomer van, she runs solid like tinfoil. She may run solid like tinfoil, but she's good on gas. When you take these guys to the tire shop, they like to put an impact wrench on here and just tighten the blazes out of these lug nuts. Result is, when you get flat on the side of the road, you can't get the lug nuts off to save your life. And you have to tow your van in. That's why I do my best never take a vehicle into the shop to have tires put on it. Well, it's that time of year again. Time to get the studs off the car. I do a couple things with my lugs to always make sure they're healthy. First, I use these acorn nuts because they completely cover the lug, so that you don't end up with dirt and debris on them. The chrome, I don't really care about the chrome, except that that's just the way they come. I also put grease on them. Now, I know some people think, if you're going to grease your lug nuts, your lug nuts are going to work loose and fall off, and you're going to die horribly, and everybody else. Well, I've driven 500,000 miles in various jalopies and rattle traps, and I've had my share of problems, but I've never ever had a greased lug nut fall off my car. And it's not because I check them frequently either, no. I'm the sort of person that, I put the tire on there, I put the lug nut on there good and snug, and, I don't see them again for like 6 months. The other thing I do is I always like to get quality tires. I once spent $400 on a Datsun pickup. It was a 79 Datsun pickup. It was bent up, rusted up, piece of junk. And I spent $450 on tires. And I tell you what, I never had any problem with that thing in the snow. They had other problems, but not with the snow. Now, this particular year, I've got a bit of a problem. See, this is my summer tire. See this summer tire? It's starting to get thin enough on the corners. You can almost see the air inside, and it's not very deep. The tread's not very deep. They also tend to wobble and shake and all sorts of things. So yeah, they're not really reliable, and they're probably not safe, and I'm pretty sure they're not legal either. But I've got these studded tires that are in excellent shape, and they're not legal because they have studs in them. But you look closely at some of these studs, and they're getting flattened off and rounded off. They're not the sharp ice picks they're supposed to be. And the tread isn't quite as thick as it was when they were new. So I think it's time to demote this to a summer tire. How do you do that? Well, you just pull the studs out. That requires a bit of labor, but let me show you how that works. Well, pulling studs is simple, but not particularly easy. What you do is you just take a thin, flat-nosed screwdriver. It's good to have a pair of gloves too, because especially for this hand. And sort of like that, only more like that. Get the stud out, just like that. And so now all I got to do is do that like 439 more times, and my car will be legal. Watch your speed.